everyone. You're all having a wonderful day, whichever part be it, whatever you are. I hope you're having a good one. We are back with a slightly shorter stream than usual. Nevertheless, the last time when we were about, we got things properly started. We managed to get halfway through level 5. And today, if we're lucky and quick enough, I believe we're more than capable of going for that level 6, and who knows, maybe even defending the grove. I didn't sleep yet, it's 2 AM here. Yo Devi, go get some sleep. I mean, I'm happy to see you here, but take care of yourself. See these under eye bags that I have? I had 8 hours of sleep and I still get that shit, so like, if you don't want to look like me. Been obsessed with Elden Ring Night Rain. I've seen it blow up on Twitch. I have played Elden Ring quite a lot when I was on break from BG3. It was one of my main games when I was playing, and I was honestly worried on how Night Rain was gonna turn out. But I've only heard positive things so far, so you know, might be worth giving it a spin. I'll give it a couple more days, but I've heard the difficulty of the whole shebang got put way up, so in my opinion that's a good thing though, because in the base game, after you played it 3 times, there's only like maybe 4 bosses that remain challenging, so to put it. And not to mention the meme of the last fight, Radagon and Elden Beast. Like, I know I was stuck on Morgoth for over 2 hours on my first playthrough, and then I did both Radagon and Elden Beast in the first try, which was just like, what am I doing? But yeah, I've heard they pumped up the difficulty. I haven't dwelled much into how they did that.
Mars will never forget him.
I hope it's just not flat HP increase for all of the bosses, because that would suck. I hate when games do that. Just increase the base HP of a boss and call it higher difficulty, or NPCs overall. That's actually more phases and movesets. The buff for the Night Rain bosses? Oh, okay. So you're saying the nobles are actually hard now? But it would come in the next month? Oh, okay.
Pave my path with corpses. Build my castle with bones.
Roger that. Yeah, I think I'm still gonna give it a bit of a wait. I'm not going to dwell straight into it just quite yet, but it's gonna stay on my radar. I'll see how the game develops as we go. Alright, the last time around we managed to get our crit immunity. We also set up a lot of things regarding Act 1. We haven't done a lot of bosses, but we did beat Raphael. So that's a W already. We also obtained this little thingamajig, Protect the Sparks Wall. And what this gives us an option to do is to have +1 to a spell save DC, which is a nifty little buff. Combined with all of these, we can get our DC up to 16. in the early game, which is not half as bad. With Shade Clinger, it's 17. So yeah, we got quite a nice increase in power. Also, we did most of the things that don't require combat in Act 1, which is highly convenient. But besides that, that's pretty much it. But what I do wonder is if we set this base to 30, with this together, I believe we'll have like 20 AC altogether. So I think this might even be a better alternative compared to rocking the Eldusk. So I don't know yet, I'll see, but I believe I'll be swapping between 1 and 2 all around the clock. Anyways, back to Blighted Village. We haven't long rested yet. We have a couple of times to do the whole Gurge, like Raphael thingamajig, but outside of that, the owlbears are still standing. There's a couple of more goblins that need to go. Most of the tieflings have been taken care of, and we haven't really begun the Kolgas quest. I believe I'm going to start with some goblins in the cave just to put this build to the test. And also on my next level, I'll probably want to pick up some mage armor. It could come in quite clutch. Comes to druid. Create water is very tempting, I must say. And at this point, I'm also considering grabbing a few hand crossbows, so I can start utilizing my bulbs a bit more effectively given the action economy that we have provided.
Let's see.
Now the thing I mostly have in mind is giving enemies disadvantage on their attack rolls and blinding them, but we'll need con disadvantage on their con saving throws to be able to land or blind most consistently. So let's go take care of that real quick. We also haven't yet talked to Joraxen. I want to get that conversation out of the way ASAP. We have one inspo to work with, which is not half as bad. Want Crusher's Ring for this, just in case anything goes wrong. And we'd probably wanna spend a spell slot. However, I believe we're gonna go for Owl's Wisdom, because for Joraxen we can either do a Wisdom check, or we can do Persuasion. And another interaction over here that applies, that will be good to have.
What's up for discussion?
Advantage on wisdom checks is the hyenas. So I think these are the two I want to get out of the way first.
Need something?
So we can do a quick vendor run, see if we have missed out on anything. And I will buy this Bloodlust Elixir. Also, I will want to buy up all of the scrolls of mage armor that are available. And based on how many we get, I'll decide if I want more mage armor, if I want to pick up mage armor as a spell later on. We also want at least 2 invis spots in case things go astray and we don't get our kills. I also wanted to pick up this haste scroll. Remove curse, I don't think I'll need. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And we already got 2. Yeah, she's willing to provide 2 more on top of that. So, don't mind if I do, and yes, please. I can get rid of all of my coatings. I won't find a single use for them, since we're not gonna be swinging on weapons on this run. I can also sell Adolfka. Oh, no hand crossbows from her though. A shame.
Pleasure.
Now that I got 4 of them now. I have mage armor equipped. That's because we're using speedy light feet. Now it's either between these or cinder shoes, but for cinder shoes we will need the fire cantrip, so we're gonna go back to Boots of Stormy Clamor. It also will give them worse dexterity saving throws, applying reverb, and it works around the mage armor as well. Now lightning charges would possibly be more beneficial in this scenario. And I have to consider if I want to concentrate on anything else, or do I want to just keep Expeditious Retreat? For now, it's just Owl's Wisdom time. Do that. Gonna get our boom on. We're going. Also, Leviathan's Love is a buff we still haven't gotten yet. And we also can't forget to save Bolo. Plus 6 ought to be more than enough.
Don't go bothering my pigeon. He's mine. What's it to ya? Think.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
No buffs, thank you very much.
I guarantee that we mustn't carry.
We can send them to our camp. Go lockpick Andreas is the chains. Oh, Liam's.
No.
Liam's.
Please. I can't tell you whether. That's all I. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The lock.
I should be able to make it to the grove.
Thank you. We get much more XP whenever I save him. And there's also 15 behind Leviathan's Love. neat little thing. You can actually blade ward before you start any of this. And far aloof gives us +1. However, I probably will want to save that
You can do better than
until I have a few more inspos, or I'm willing to commit a bit into changing my enhanced ability. I'm just gonna stay as I am right now. And let's go talk to Joraxlin. We saved the dude. Let me just bring up Inspos in Act 1. The Goblin Camp, we have eat a chunk of cooked wolf, poison the stale, poison the ale, and torture Liam. I believe torturing Liam, it's only available if you don't send the other 2 torturers away. So we're just working with what we have over here. Alright. Hey Ragsley.
I come.
The hobgoblin, you taste the visions, the elves.
If it isn't,
He
You
does
can do this entire thing with only 1 check, or 0 if you're a bard
you
or
ever
a
talk
cleric.
to a dead squid? Now,
And there's 2 options: Persuasion DC 15 and Wisdom DC 10 check. And if you try and take on the interrogation of the corpse by yourself, so you're the one asking the questions through Joraxlin, it's a Wisdom check. Otherwise it's a Persuasion at the end.
no time like
Hey Joanna,
present.
how you doing?
Absolute says that we find.
You suddenly, the artifact does not want to part from you. The hideous new
Ceremony
heart
proceed.
seizes. Under questioning, the creature might recognize you as its
What's
killer.
the wisdom? Why do we have advantage over here is beyond me. But I'll take it.
Ragslin's mind reels.
Maybe because we're
Then
druid?
calms.
Or
He will
because we're
speak
branded?
as you
No,
command.
branded is
With
not.
Ragslin's voice, you ask. Ragslin then the
We've checked
crazy
why I
other
got
mind flayers.
advantage on this situation.
You feel Ragslin's suspicions. He'd never.
Worried in
Suspicion
favor
floods Ragslin's mind.
and why would the gaze chasing the ship?
See, she's mounting an attack. Raise.
Done.
They're
And
seeking
that's
a
the
weapon.
65 XP.
I wonder if they meant that artifact.
Not many more interactions about this place except for saving this guy, but I don't want to take on these 3 goblins just quite yet. That part of Minthara's band that goes with her to raid the grove, but there's a few too many risks to undertake that just now, so I'm gonna go to Blighted Village and let's go deal with the hyenas first. Now, I'm depending on a lot of lucky rolls for this, so having only 1 inspo, however, we will have Al's wisdom for this. What I don't remember though is, have we used our illicit power just yet on this long rest? This one stopped after we knocked out Raphael, and we didn't roll for any more checks after that, so our illicit persuasion should still be on. Have to have that one for the initial D2 check.
What's inside?
And that will then give us more options after the other 2, after Rugen and Ollie are both dead.
What's that?
Just gonna go loot a couple of things that I forgot about over here. These two skeletons are usually a sage inspiration. Fortunately, or rather more unfortunately, I don't have to bother with that on this run.
I'll take that.
It is actually a haunted one that is our background. And just in case you want to know, I have skipped 1, 2, 3 inspirations, 4 inspirations in this act alone already. One of which is so I keep an exploration spot, another one because the combat behind it is a bit risky for the given level, and the third one is because I just don't know how the situation plays out, so I'd rather go with the route that is known to me. I have to start playing Dirge a bit more, get the science of the interaction done and cleared out, and possibly improve my pathing a little bit. Hey Mick, how you doing? Good morning to you. How was the stream yesterday? I had to leave quite early, since it was getting quite late for me. We're just on our way to hopefully talk down the hyenas, and if we fail, we run.
Bodies everywhere. Accident or sabotage?
I have talked to the paladins already, however we haven't looted the building around it. I want to get that out of the way as well. Ooh. Give me my hyena here. I appreciate explaining why or what you're doing. I'm always learning something new watching your solo runs. You tend to be far more thorough. Yeah, I'm very glad that my explanations are coming in useful. I'm really hoping that I'm not repeating myself too much. And even though my pathing is quite set in stone as it is, I still try to present some variability to the whole shebang, so it doesn't get too stale. But yeah, thanks for the kind words, Senpai. That's a really heartwarming first message. I want to get most of the checks, that ability and conversation checks that I done in Act 1 out of the way on this long rest, or rather on this level, because on the next one I will probably getting rid of enhanced ability. Stream was quite fun. Coronation Gold ended up being not as hard as I thought it was going to be. That's nice.
These boots have seen everything.
Yeah, I've heard you say yesterday how you're saying it's not as hard as you expected it to be, but what I also saw you do is you went on wiki and you read what the enemies do, and like that's, you know, of course don't spoil the game for yourself if you're playing it for the first time, but that is already a huge step towards improvement, because like not half, but I'd say 3/4 of
The shock of
the thing about this game is just knowledge, you know? And as long as you know what the threats are, you'll also find yourself being less nervous before certain encounters, and And then after that
Voice has
comes knowledge
forbidden
with
this
what you
meat.
can get away with and what not, you know. Is reading OP in this game? It's gotta be the first one. In like forever. So
In the
can I
cave,
invert
anxious hearts throbbing, ready to burst.
Divert the
As the
attention.
symbol glows, power courses through you.
and
Authority.
we have advantage on hit this? Okay. That's normally advantage on this one.
Deep in the kit, your mind.
However, I'm more interested about maintaining advantage for the next check as well. So that turned the gnolls to our side, and Rugen and Ollie are now considered enemies. And even if gnolls kill them, we still get XP for it. I'm just gonna keep on doing this. Is reading OP in this game? Nah. You must be imagining things. By the way, the weather has been going crazy these couple of days. Over here, yesterday, we had 33 fucking degrees already. I mean, I know it's... Oh, it's fucking June already. Fucking hell. I was about to say I know it's May, but it shouldn't be that hot yet, but never mind. So how difficult that fight was for other folks, I really had to, if I wanted to win. I mean, the more times you do it, right, you also start memorizing what you need, and you know a lot of the part when it comes to solo honor running that I've discovered is figuring out which immunities are good for a particular fight. So as a result of that, your gear slots can be a bit more flexible. For example, you could just put on Ring of Reaction as soon as you get it in Act 2 and never take it off, and that would be a valid play. However, the more you read into what enemies do, the less you realize that you actually need it throughout your playthrough, so you can just, you know, do without it. And that opens up another ring slot, which can then either enforce like... Jesus Christ. What's the effect? The one with icon on the head. It can either enforce certain debuffs on the enemies, you can just straight up do more damage because you have another ring slot open. Same goes with boots, helmets and shields. So yeah, if there's one thing that I would say always have on, is definitely crit immunity. That's probably like the only exception to obtaining immunities that you always want to make sure that you have on.
Never wanted the easy path.
Yeah, it's getting quite crazy with weather over here. Really makes a huge difference. I know someone doing BG3 solos but does not know how to multi-class, is still not fully confident which feats to choose. I just wish, and I did. Exactly, Anna. Never tried Coronation Gold Ash? Neither have I. Alright, so we got over here. We're going to come this way, do this, and we ran out of time to disengage.
Her mind a hungry pit.
She wants
The
more
flesh
meat.
of the survivors wasn't
Dominate her
enough to
mind,
satisfy
ordering
her.
her to feast on the flesh of the other gnolls. We also got advantage? Now I'm just fucking confused. I should read more. You know. And this is the last wisdom check that I know I'll need to make, so just give me guidance on top of that. Stock up on noble stock, universal resistance elixirs and paralytic coatings if you're doing weapon damage. Oh yeah, those can get you quite a long way.
Sensing your presence, that its host will...
Alright, and after you get this 315 XP for managing to convince her to turn on the other gnolls, this is all of the XP that can be gained out of this encounter. Now you could either join the fight or stay out of it. Because I'm a sorcerer and I have good ranged options, I'm just going to wait this out. Let the heat blow over. I'm gonna return once Pind is dead.
Bet that will fit
Now,
my pack.
if Pind were to win this encounter, fighting the other hyenas, there would be another check for her to either leave or eat herself, so to put it. But that almost never
Find a way
happens
forward.
if you let her fight the gnolls by herself.
All right, time to skulk about. At the ready.
Alright,
If everyone else minds their business,
I'm
I'll
gonna
be
stay
fine.
right over here and see how the situation evolves. This fight also has shown me there aren't as many blind immune enemies as I thought there would be. I'm definitely gonna try something like this again for my Shadow Sorcerer run. Nice. Yeah, a lot of like the same, not the same thing, but the same principle that I have.
There's an illithid parasite in that corpse. You should take a look.
Oh wait, do I wanna use my bomb over here? Probably not. My rule set, also another rule that I've added for this playthrough is I'm going to try and limit my use of bombs to 5 per act. So I really have to think more about when and how I use them. I've already used 2 of them for Prezek, so I still have 3 more to go, and one is definitely going for the Flaming Fists next to Voss. But yeah, Mick, as I was saying earlier, same principle but different thing I learned. Given that most of the enemies are undead in Act 2, well, a lot of them, I immediately assumed that almost all of them are gonna be immune to bleeding and poison. However, that wasn't the case. Dark Justiciars can be poisoned, Shadow Cursed Undead can still be poisoned and bled. So there's a lot of exceptions to the rules when it comes to specific races in this game, and learning what those are and how they work, you know, has definitely been a very interesting journey for me. Alright, get a little surprise round going over here, and I believe I'm going to just use a speed pot. Acid Splash, extremely undervalued cantrip. It's got a lower damage die, however, it can hit AoE. It is a dexterity saving throw, so the longer the game goes on, unless you get your spell save DC through the roof, this thing can start to fall off. So keep that in mind. It's only shadows and zombies that are immune to those? Yes. Correct. And mummies and, well, the whole Mystic Carrion group. Also the undead hands. The crawlers, they're called. All 3 of them just saved. Nifty. There has been a surprise round over here, and I should have enough movement if I make my way down through
Need to find a way
here.
forward.
And what do you think? Does any one of these guys make their way up to be able to check if I'm still there? I would say they do. However, our AC is not as horrible as I thought, so I'm quite happy just doing this for the time being. Let's see if I can get all three of them in a cone. Beautiful. This Dazzling Breath is just so good. I just hope playing Star Drill does not break my game. Or break my save, rather. Seriously? I got soulbound? With 17 charisma? Okay. It's a Seething Fury. This is already turning out to be more damage than it's worth. Now we're gonna start backing off a little bit. Also not sure if you saw the stream, but I kinda messed up the Unholy Assassin quest a bit. Made the Night Guards at the entrance
Something over there.
door perma hostile and had to fight them. Yeah, that can happen. How did you have enough movement speed? Is my question though. Oh no, I'm lethargic. Shit. Shit. We're fine, right? Don't panic. Just look at what the fuck is going on. Alright, there's my blood pressure up for the day. Mission accomplished. Dear Lord. Alright. I need to start protecting myself a little bit. What video? Goddamn soul offering, it's so annoying. Swear to God. But having extended the Blade Ward, that by the way I should have been applying beforehand, can come in quite clutch. Alright, let's get rid of you. But lo and behold, they're not blind immune either, so Darkness just made them miss and let me whack the hell out of them. I legit got so scared as fuck since one of them has Fireball and Steroids and that ignores resistance. Damn. Did I get saved by the Shadow Souls Sorcerer Death Ward thing? No, I didn't. I was legit left on 1 HP. That thing hasn't procced yet, but that also required, like, this guy could have easily worked around that, so I am maintaining the good route of healing. We still have 3 stacks of Blade Ward, so that's quite nice. But yeah, I wasn't careful, I wasn't applying Blade Ward, and I got myself into an iffy situation.
Too much to bear.
But yeah, see, right here, Blade Ward literally saved my life. I have 2 more turns of it, so I'm gonna go for the big heals. And we're just gonna crit, I guess. I mean, I didn't have to fight these guys, just saying this out loud. I could have just gone away and everything would still be quite alright.
Time to get going.
But I was greedy for the hyena ears and I almost paid for it. But there's no wake up call like that one.
Open up.
Going to send this to camp, get my hyena ears, and get another one of these beautiful parasites, which I think is going to go towards psionic backlash. Now the smart thing to do over here was to do the persuasion check and then go have a long rest. Just ignore the gnolls, but they had a lot of damage on them already, so, and also these alchemist fires survived, so I was really hoping to not make it as risky of a situation and just take them all off, but
Like that don't have
we are
trinkets.
cantrip only.
There must be
and,
something valuable inside.
Gotta stay in the spirit of that. Just because we shouldn't, that doesn't mean we won't. I mean, that's bad advice if I ever heard some, but true nonetheless. We got another hand crossbow. Very useful stuff. Oh yeah, given this fight, especially this last attack that the Null did, because we had Blade Ward, we took, instead of taking 9, 11, 20, instead of taking 30 damage, we only ended up taking 14. So yeah. Resistances coming through to save the day once more. I could have increased that further by having Helda's armor on. That would add me another 3 damage reduction to all the damage I take, but I find using that armor makes Act 1 potentially a bit too easy. And also I'm gonna remove this cloak until I get nimbus. Because working around that invis can get quite annoying. Hey Bunny, how you doing? We've just dealt with the gnolls, collected the ears. I'm going to speak with that with them. Yesterday we got most of the non-combative stuff out of the way. Out of Act 1, we knocked out Raphael on this run as well. I think I'm gonna make that a staple on level 4. And my, oh never mind. My stream elements is working. I think I'm gonna make that a staple, and we also managed to defeat Grim. So we got our crit immunity. Hey yo, thank you for the follow. My my OBS and stream management seem to have a little bit of a delay, but as soon as it loads up, I can see who actually followed me. But thanks for the follow nonetheless, glad to have you here. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Alex. Alright, one hand crossbow. I would like to go and check my camp if I have another one. We also can't forget to speak with Dead on Rugen, just to make entering the Zentrim hideout checkless. I don't have a single scroll of that? Really? Oh, there it is. I knew I had to have at least one on me.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Where were you heading? How do I find the hideout? And what's the password? Thank you. This will make it so whenever we get to Zentrim hideout and talk to Xeris for the first time, there will be no check to get inside. Otherwise it's like a DC 10 persuasion, intimidation, and something else. By casting one of these scrolls for the exchange of that, it's quite nice. Gotta save the inspo. Alright, so the bomb counter so far is on 2. I'm thinking that I'm ready to go and use my next bomb. So my last 3 bombs, so far as I'm planning, will be using one for the flaming fist on the bridge, one for the flaming fists near the burning mansion, and then the last one is going to be in the grove defense to break open the barrels where goblins are usually located in. I think that will be quite an efficient use of those. Let's just check our XP situation. 3k XP to go. Now for the flaming fists near the burning building, I will want to get some form of lightning charges. I can get that through Expeditious Retreat. And for the use of one of these bombs, I am going to get a companion. The one that has a mage hand available to them. Now, for the thing I'm just about to do, I'm not bending my rules since technically I won't get into combat. However, it is some XP that can be taken off the table in case you trigger a certain interaction. But getting a mage hand for that purpose in specific seems kinda redundant to me. I'd prefer to have Blade Ward. And the interaction I have in mind is next to the burning building over here. Now, as soon as you can get past the burning building without triggering the event by just sticking to the left side of the road over here. Your character will say something about smoke and burning, and that's how you know that as soon as you pass that point, as soon as you leave, the whole building will burn down and Councillor Floric will be dead. But as long as you don't approach it too much, it should be fine.
Seems almost too big to take flight.
Alright, so after we get this interaction, if we approach, there's going to be a cutscene where the 4 flaming fists that are on this bridge get killed by Voss, landing down with his dragon. However, those 4 flaming fists are worth XP and can still be harvested for it. And that is exactly what I'm gonna do. But beforehand, I'm going to take Laika out. I'm considering if I want to knock her out or if I want to kill her. Because knocking her out grants you plus 35 XP later in Githyanki Crash. Which I am most keen on doing. And because we can only knock out with melee attacks, this last hit that we do on her is going to be an exception to our rule set. Because that's the only way we can get and we can knock somebody out. So I'm going to start off with some blade ward action going on. Now she is a hunter, therefore she's a ranger, I believe, and therefore she has proficiency in dex saving throws, so Acid Splash is not for her. One thing that we can do though, to help things out a little bit, is get some water.
Breathe quiet. Move with care. Let's get this over with.
Start shooting. We did not get a surprise round, which is surprising to me. But hey ho. Maybe taking on Gimblock at level 5 was overkill. I forgot about him and I'm cleaning up Act 1. Killed him without ever entering combat. Gimblock is who again? Oh yeah, those are the guys near the burned ruins, right? Ancient ruins, where you find withers for the first time. Yeah, I saved them until level 10 to be honest, because there's an exploration spot XP over there, and I want to try and save that for later. Okay, so we're just gonna...
Swift as my feet can carry me.
move behind this place over here. So she has to dash to come to us. Please don't slip on ice. Oh well. Since we're not doing an attack in melee range. Ugh. Whatever. Psionic Backlash. And we're gonna start buffering our Blade Ward. Now Blade Ward is a very useful cantrip, gives us resistance. To make us resistant to physical damage. And without extended spell, it only needs to be applied every second turn. I think I'm more than willing to start trading damage with you. I'm going to move behind here just to make her move a bit closer if I can. Unlucky. Yo, thanks for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the stream. So now that she's over here, I can finally start dazzling breath with her. We're not doing melee attacks, but I'm keeping the promptons because, and this is just a myth so far, I think that AI might be a bit less willing to move if they know they have the risk of getting opportunity attacked. And if you have that thing turned off, I believe the enemy AI knows about that. Not certain though. Yeah. I'm gonna do some blade warding. And we're going to run further back. So she actually has to make her way towards us. We're going to run back here. One more Blade Ward. Heal up. And now she actually has to make her way over here. And because we're trying to knock her out, and that's the only way to knock out people is through melee attacks, so I'm going to start swinging at her. If we were to use cantrip one more time, there is a possibility of accidentally killing her, and I don't want that. Her on just 1 HP. No, don't run too far away. And what knocking out achieves over here is that if she survives, she will make her way to the crash, where you will later on find her corpse. And you can speak with that on her corpse for finding Blood of Lathander's quest. So we got that out of the way. Now we're quickly going to go back to camp. And talk to Withers.
Not this one. For a mere pittance of most will very well. Choose.
And we're gonna get our tiefling friend, who is a druid. He has access to Mage Hand. And that's the thing we want out of him. Now, just to get the counter of bombs correctly, this is our third bomb of the run. And what we're going to do is we're going to place the bomb as far over here as we can, not crossing too close because that will trigger the cutscene.
No time to rest.
And he's going to summon the Mage Hand. Now, your summons do not proc cutscenes. Therefore, they can approach an area where a cutscene would normally trigger and maintain the positions of the beings that are normally in the given cutscene. And for this example, the 4 Flaming Fists, we can come close enough to where we have them all rendered in. They would normally die in the cutscene. However, they're worth XP. And because we're so high up, this is going to be a multi-bomb, aka meaning the bomb will explode multiple times. Reason being because we threw it from so high above. And all of these guys are still with XP, so one bomb for 120 XP just for us. And that's pretty much it.
This vessel is at thy
camp.
thou.
I don't need you anymore. And what this does,
On my way.
it breaks the cutscene, so now even if you go into Act 2 and then come back later, Voss and his dragon, I can just get a bit closer to show it to you, will remain over here indefinitely. Now there is a slight bug regarding this. And that is, if we were to fight Voss right now, or if we wanted to do that for whatever reason, he might be immune to all damage. I don't know, for some people this happens consistently, not for others.
Out of sight, out of mind.
I don't really know the reason behind that. However, we do know of a way to solve that issue. and that is to just travel to either Githyanki Crash or Act 2, and that will unbug boss, thus solving the issue for you. Alright, so with all of that taken care of, we are down to 2 bombs remaining for this act. And I think I will go and use one of them relatively soon right now. We didn't get proficiency in performance. And we also do not have shovel or minor illusion. So we're missing a tool to make to deal with the flaming fists over here, to make the thing flawless. So I'm going to leave these guys alone for now. Yeah. Let's go to camp and check if we have another hand crossbow available to us.
Anything of use?
There it is. Now having 2 hand crossbows allows us to shoot with our bonus action, and we're going to be mostly using that to trigger and apply various conditions on enemies, such as proccing void and spike bulbs, breaking water bottles underneath enemies to get wet condition going, and this will help us out a bit with our damage. Leave camp. There's one more bugbear over here that I want to deal with. Now he is sleeping, so the next hit on him is guaranteed to be a crit. However, what I don't know is, if we make him wet, does he wake up? And also I don't know if I'm willing to try that out quite yet, so... Speaking of Act 2, I can never decide when it's good time to go there for gear runs. I don't want to lock myself out of any experience, so I just end up clearing Crash and Wilderness before going in. There's no major exploration XP spots in Act 2. Now, except for a few. Getting to Last Light Inn before Jaheira spawns in and the cutscene starts, you need to walk up to the well, and that's 280 XP. That XP is stagnant, it does not increase with your level, so you can do that one whenever you want. Same with getting to the town, that one is also 280 XP no matter the level. And depending if you've knocked out Minty or not, you can also have...
Softer than a whisper.
You can also have exploration XP for Moonrise Towers. Now that one does scale with levels, so do what you want with that info. However, what I like to do is I like to ensure that I'm at least level 6 before, well, at least level 6. I'm usually level 6 before I go to Act 2 anyway. Now, a good thing to keep in mind, of course, is to tackle all of the time-sensitive things in Act 1. Burning Building, Goblin Tiefling conflict, same with Korga's quest can become unavailable, because if you leave, the Korga is just gonna shut the whole Emerald Grove down. Heg is unaffected. Voss will also leave if you don't break the cutscene, so yeah. There's quite a few time-sensitive things in Act 1. that can potentially rob you out of huge amounts of XP. So the way I'm going to do this is just gonna pop my potion of healing and give him a good old Critorino. And place one water bottle on the ground and make him wet. Now because he is... oh no, he's just shocking grasp, he's not actually electrocuted, never mind. Because we started from sneak, he's also surprised. And another shocking grasp just seals the deal. Electrocuted and wet. Lol. Is it really necessary to have create water for an ice sorcerer? No, you have water bottles and you can use 2 hand crossbows to proc them. The water bottle itself, you can check the radius before you place it on the ground to see who will get wet, and then with depending on how much strength you have, the further then you can move items away on the ground. So with less strength, the less this distance is gonna be. So you can just do that, pretend this is a water bottle and just do this, and for the cost of the bonus action you're getting enemies wet. So no, it's definitely, like, wet is a nice condition, but being a cleric or a druid to get access to create water for that purpose is not necessary. It just depends on what you want to do and the things you're doing, if that plays into your favor or not. Hey, yo, Debbie, have a good rest. Even though I'll keep playing Elden Ring, gotta get those reflexes back in check. You're probably sloppy, given that it's 2 AM over here, over where you're at. Didn't know about boss. Others just naturally happen before I go to Mountain Pass, so those are fine. Yeah. Also, depending if you're enter the Alba nest and persuaded her to let her leave, the goblins will deal with them. Ancient ruins remain unaffected, and that's pretty much it, I think. Underdark remains completely unaffected. I'm not sure about the Zents, so I can't really give you info for that. And of course, if Joraxin leaves, the ogres leave if you haven't made a deal, and so on. Alright, so with that cleared out, we are 270 off. But Grimforge is affected, right? Grimforge does not get affected. Grimforge is considered an area of its own. So, as long as you don't start Nir's quest in any way, Nir will just remain trapped. And you activate the Nir's quest by talking to the 2 Dwega that you can then persuade, so you have the slavers on your side whenever you do the fight. That starts Nir's quest. I'm not sure about Thula. Not Thula, but the one with the smoke powder bomb at the top, so I just leave her as she is. But yeah, as long as you don't start that quest, Nir will just remain over there. Grim, you can do. That's not sensitive in any way. The Grim you can leave. Same with oozes, same with the Maragons, same with the Dwega that is whipping the Rothe to clear the rubble. Those guys are also kind of separate in that region. Spiders you can leave. But again, all of these guys that are slavers are going to leave if you started Nir's quest and he dies while being trapped over there. and you can get Bacchus later, you have to save Bacchus before you go down to Grimforge. That is the trigger for him dying on the windmill and Frezik dying and so on. When should you summon ogres if you got their horn? Before you let Joraxlin die. So, like, you'll still have access to ogres even if Joraxlin dies. However, the next time you summon them, and when combat finishes, they will just walk away. No combat, no persuasion check, no nothing, they will just walk away and disappear. So, you can still summon them after that, however, you want to make sure that they die in that combat, at least Lump, since he's the one with the circlet. Alright, are we ready for Korga's quest now? Yeah, I could go fight the methods down low. That fight, having the ranged option can be quite easy. I mean, Bacchus is digging at Grimforge. I know I meant when he's oh. So if he's digging in Grimforge, you start Nier's quest, they don't get saved, Nier doesn't get saved, slavers pack up their slaves, aka Barkers as well, I believe. I would assume they pack up Barkers as well since they haven't dig in the rubble. But I'm not 100% sure about that, so... Yeah, I'll just not start Nier's quest until you're able to finish it completely with the rest of the area. You mean the goblin boss? Yes. So killing Joraxlin, like those ogres have a deal with Joraxlin. And if there's no Joraxlin, there's also no more deal, right? So even so if you made a deal with them, right, your deal is dependent on if you're able to pay them out, right? Otherwise they just go back to serving Joraxlin, or aka killing you first. But if there's no Joraxlin, there's no friction between that, at least that's how I imagine it. And you have to, and you'd want to make sure that first ogres die and then Joraxlin dies. Alright, so I'm gonna go over here, go into turn-based mode, and probably just start attacking. Do I want Bloodlust for this? Ah, we're fine. We're completely fine. Nice crit. Just gonna get closer. Please don't heal up. There we go. Usually get ogres killed in the Grim fight. They die so quickly. Yeah, like, I mean, they're not ogres themselves when it comes to their AI in combat. When you summon them, they say they're gonna kill everything around, and that means everything. So if you were to summon them in the Grove Defense, they would try and kill everything, so everyone in that Grove Defense will then turn hostile towards you. So, you know, they're not as useful as people might think. They can complicate things if summoned at a weird situation when there's two sides. So in order to avoid that and just guarantee the circlet, which is also a good helping tool for Mirror of Loss, I just make sure they die with Grim. Pick the ogres but not summoning them, so ogres pretty much useless with any other boss. Not really. My usual go-to used to be to summon them with the face by the matriarch and grab her XP before I left Act 1. But since so many different XP strats have been added since then, it just made summoning the ogres kind of obsolete for me. Like, I don't need them anymore. They're just gonna pop you down. I'll take this guy out. Now standing up here also makes the wood woads stand in the water, taking double cold and lightning damage. Very handy. I should have put mage armor scroll on. I'm just a really greedy cunt and I don't want to use any of those. Like, but if you manage to get wood woads surrounded with methods, you can get some nice chain explosions going in this fight. Very handy. And also standing in a better spot to where I'm standing right now can prevent these methods from flying up. I don't know the exact position, but I'm going to try over here, so let's see if that works. Methods, I believe, are immune to poison, but not acid. So, I'm gonna stop tickling them down. Easy. And just to see if the wood woads can group up with the rest of them a bit better. Now these are all of the ancient ones, and from my experience they are way less likely to try and fly up to me. And if I played my positioning correctly right here, neither of the young methods will try and get up to me. Yep. GG's. Neither of you are wet. Just gonna keep on poking them down. They're gonna try and entangle me. I don't really care. I can always cast Acid Splash, which is a saving throw and not an attack roll. So even if I'm entangled, I don't get any disadvantage. Alright, I positioned myself correctly over here, apparently, since none of these young methods are trying to fly up to me. And yeah, that's amazing. Just gonna keep whittling these guys down to check if my breath can target anything that is that low. Does not look like it's the case. I should save my psionic backlash for the vote that's got the shield. Yep. Just keep on passing. Very nice. Nice explosions. Oh, good reposition on that method over there. Stop backlashing you. Very good explosion. Now we're muddy, so we get disadvantage on our attack rolls. But we do not care. Let's see how many of you I can target. I can get all of 3 of those with 1 acid splash? That's great. position is still somewhat favorable. Very nice explosion. This guy is so deep in the water that he should be wet, but he's not. And these guys have how much dex? Only 12. So the chance to hit them is quite good. Plus applying reverb. Will reduce their dex saving throws even further. Go.
No traps, please. Have I been this way before?
Must be the tree from the note to Koga. What's that?
Reading the letter to Koga up there makes this a guaranteed perception check.
That might be worth a look.
I'm just gonna go grab a couple more things from here. And I should also go and visit Auntie Ethel and start stashing away all of the water bottles. To do that more often. Gotten this already. Auntie Ethel, fun little fact, every time, she's a vendor, so every time her inventory refreshes, she's got 5 more water bottles that you can stash. And it's a very good portable
Grant me patience. Eat up, Mayrina. I won't
portable
say it again.
wet condition affliction on demand with either action or bonus action. So yeah, super dandy. Alright.
Thank. That wriggler swimming in your brain, Jew. No, but it is. I can. What do you say? Want me to take care? Ethel, what? And you?
I'm just not going to be rude to her or anything. Keep her as she is. Okay, got that out of the way. Could go fight the spiders down low, but they have quite good dex saves. There's still the burning building. I definitely want to get that out of the way as soon as I can. There's also a nice bunch of XP waiting for me up there.
Nutrition my species receives from other mines.
I'm gonna do one quick vendor run.
Welcome back. Have you made any new discoveries?
Sure to grab anything of interest.
I greet you, son child.
Looks like we already mostly did that. I'm going to buy spike bulbs since they are they can also be placed on the ground and shot with an offhand crossbow shot, which will guarantee apply bleeding on them. And that can give them disadvantage on constitution saving throws. Let's lighten our burden a bit as well.
Welcome back.
And that can help
Have you made
with
any new discoveries?
with applying spells. The ones that have con saving throws anyway. Blindness being one of them. I doubt I'll need any of those.
Have you spoken with Scriss?
Let's go get the last two bombs of this act that we have remaining. Yeah, I'm going to buy one because we can get two more in the goblin prison.
Now I've got the noble stock.
So only need one really. Vigilant elixirs I will have. We have invis potions still. Strength. I could get two more of these. Colossus I won't need, because it doesn't help me or Nimbus in any way, shape or form. So just gonna grab all of that.
This'll do wonders for the shop.
And one consideration that we have for this playthrough is how early do we want to obtain Morning Frost? Because I could go for it right now. It is an option. Kill one mage. Kill a statue. Loot both of those. And then I can distance spell if I succeed a perception check with Dawn Whip on this guy. On the corpse inside here. Avoiding the XP in the process. Saving that for later. And that will give me +1 guaranteed cold damage. My Ray of Frost. Might not be the worst call. So I'm gonna get the easiest one out of the way first.
Better be cautious. I'll strike you down.
Staying in the back here will allow us to be far enough
Can't
as
slow
to
down.
still escape the spectator
That's a
and
friendly
avoid the
looking
surprise
shadow.
round. I wanna turn this off. Just so I don't get spotted on accident. Make sure that the bugger does not get in the way.
This calls for careful footwork. Can't risk being in open view.
Gonna wait for him to make one more merry-go-round. No, what might want to prepare beforehand as well.
Time to press ahead.
And on the next one.
Just out of view. Best be on my way.
Oh no.
If everyone else minds their business, I'll be fine. Never
I want to make sure that we lock him into turn-based mode while it's still facing down. Does not look like this is going to be the case, so I'm just gonna use my invisibility ring.
Should mind my step.
Screw it. I don't have the patience. Make sure you don't accidentally jump on the bugger. And what we can do is we can go into turn-based mode. Open this up, however do not pick it up. Instead just send it to camp, and that will maintain your invisibility. So you can then just leave back to camp as you are.
Seems like a good moment to talk.
Up to Volo, a bit more XP.
I was just settling in.
Da-dee-da. And there's our first beast. Next piece. My god, that makes you Morning Frost free. Spectated has killed so many of my runs. Yeah, a lot of people like this is. I mean, it's a nice way to get the Icy Heave without risking the run like that. Now, getting Luviata's Scourge, stealing that from Abjurak in Goblin Camp, can give you early source of necrotic immunity. So as long as you have Blade Ward or Rage or some sort of physical damage reduction, and Fear immunity with protection from evil and good, you can resist both of the damage types that the Spectator does and the status effect he can inflict on you. You still can be paralyzed though, so be careful.
We'll be clearing out.
But nothing that darkness shouldn't be able to take care of. I just don't like to make darkness an answer to every one of my problems. Seems a touch uninspired. Spectator I don't do unless I have freedom of movement, pack and necrotic resist. Otherwise you're just playing to the RNG gods, pretty much, yeah. Like the Fear spell save DC, if I'm not mistaken, is what? A shit ton? Now one thing that we can do over here is, and this is just some tech, we can drink an elixir of Hill Giant Strength. We're gonna have our invis pots at the ready, and we're gonna do both Featherfall plus Enhanced Sleep, and we're also going to go invisible and just start jumping.
Why the hell? What is that?
And what one can do is you can pick him up . if the game will allow me to do so. No, no, no. No, no! I did not click on freaking fat finger, man. See, now I gotta go and fucking so annoying, dude. Detailed explanation, Mick. Good job, I guess. Alright, I'm going invisible. I completely messed this up. It turns out I'm going to have to obtain some more invis pots. What I wanted to do over there is I wanted to attempt a waypoint abduct just to see if I can bring him away from the hooked horrors and kill him in a different waypoint.
Will be no point in lingering now I've got the noble stock.
I will need 2 more of those. Thank you for taking my money away due to my stupidity, and let's try this again, shall we? Yeah, as Mick is saying, protection from evil and good works against both different effects of fear, both feared and frightened. You get resistance to those, and if you have somebody concentrating on it that is not joining the fight, that spell does not have a max out duration. It lasts until long rest, so you can just maintain the condition for as long as you need. Or at least until long rest, of course. Alright, so we're gonna do that. Let's start jumping. Because I'm curious if it's possible to waypoint abduct an enemy.
Blood follows me everywhere.
There we go. Mission successful. Threat level neutralized. He has some nasty CC effects, however, they become useless if hook horrors are not around, so it's way less scary. Also charm immunity in giving you undead and fiend disadvantage against you. Yeah. How do you get Jagira to peg and then making sure she does not join the Merkel fight? You can leave her down to not to join, even if to not join the Catholic fight. And you can do that by having her peg you, so she's your temporary companion, and then you go to the right and try and go down to Prism, and that will then make her be like, okay, whatever, fuck off, and she'll just leave your party, and but she will maintain the concentration, so that's super nice. Now we're hypnotized and everything, but We do not care. Can do whatever he wants. He's got access to Thunder Wave, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Hypnotic Pattern. I don't know if Hold Person is one of these spells, but since he doesn't have any help, we can just whittle him down over here. And he won't try and do anything. Hook cores will remain absolutely lost. And even though we're not safe against Tasha's Hideous Laughter, we do not care. What are you doing? Like, look at that hook core. It's going places, I swear to God. Will it manage to catch up? How long is that Tasha's Hideous Laughter going for? Ten turns? Shouldn't be enough. But yeah, even though he has effectively locked us down, we don't care. And as soon as he damages us, we're fine. We're gonna get back up and stop laughing. There we go. Now the Hypnotic Pattern again. When we abducted him though, did we roll a... Yeah, we rolled a stealth check. That needs to be 14. We did that with disadvantage because of what? Threatened? But yeah, you need to succeed a stealth check to start that stuff. To remain out of combat so you're able to region travel. Good to know. Yeah, this is just gonna be everybody passing their turns until I inevitably save. There you go. Thank you for dying. And that gives us our second piece of Morning Frost. Very dandy, very nice.
A bunch of gibberish, as far as I can tell.
And that leaves us with only one more piece left to obtain. For that thing, we first have to succeed a perception check. But this is not the only method to do it. This is just one of the options you have available. We're not concentrating on anything, so I can get some guidance going as well. Now, inside of this, there's two exploration spot XPs that can scale with level, so we do not want to grab that. However, we still want to get access to the corpse, and succeeding this perception check, DC 10, will reveal that these gates can actually be attacked, and they're vulnerable to fire, slashing, and force damage. Now, one sorcery, meta magic that we do not have access to, that we're gonna use a companion to obtain, is a distant spell. And we're gonna use that in tandem with Thorn Whip.
Spins along, as it should.
Da-da-da-da.
Should thou or any of thy because a man such
Shut the hell up.
then I shall wait.
I'd like to talk about hirelings. And we're going to take the sorcerer. There he is. And we're just gonna let him do everything.
Have a lot on my mind. Well,
I'm going to level you up, taking distance spell, the only thing that matters. And then at level 4, also quicken can help out a little bit. And taking darkness as well. And at level 4 we're taking Magic Initiate Druid, and we're taking Thorn Whip as a cantrip. Heyo Malak, how you doing? And that's pretty much it. Yep. I don't need any further levels on him. And he alone is going to travel to my colony. I'm gonna leave myself at camp for now. We're going to equip a slashing weapon. We're just obtaining Morning Frost without triggering any XP spots or having any dangerous combats. We're going to cast Darkness real quick.
can't risk being in open view. Out of sight, out of mind.
We're going to destroy this door.
No one else minds their business. I'll be fine.
And then we're going to clear out one of these crystals, since they can get quite annoying.
Think you can take me on?
There we go.
Just out of view.
And now we're going to do a distance spell, Thorn Whip.
Hope your soul is in good hands. Time for some bloody work.
Nope.
All right, time to skulk around.
And keep Thorn Whipping the corpse,
Better be cautious.
thus avoiding picking up anything. And we're going to crouch, interact, send everything to camp, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for your assistance.
Forward.
Make sure you don't take
This vessel is at thou
our loot from us. And with all of that, we've obtained the last piece of Morning Frost. And we got Morning Frost at level 5 without triggering any exploration spots, having only safe fights or avoiding them altogether, and probably got one of my favorite staffs in the whole game. With this we also get a chance of inflicting chilled upon a target. This is a Constitution saving throw, I believe is DC 14 or 12, right? I'll have to check. But yeah, also another reason why spike bulbs can come in quite useful, because if we were to inflict chilled upon a target and then bonus action destroy a water bottle next to them, the enemy will become frozen, thus making it vulnerable to bludgeoning, thunder, and pulse damage. Not that I'm gonna be using any of that. It's just a nice staff to have. Alright, back to business. we still have to deal with the burning building. So I think this is going to be our next course of action. For that thing over there, I'm going to be using Speedy Light Feet to get access to lightning charges. I will also want a bomb, and we're going to have to finesse around a little bit to get everybody in the spot where we want them. Now, of course, minor illusion or musical proficiency helps out over here, but it can be done without as well. It's just not as satisfying. And when it comes to Gith, I don't think that I want Silver Sword of Astral Plane. And I could possibly just talk the chaps down to get their XP. I might just do that. Alrighty. So, whenever you arrive to this area,
Smoke.
until you hear this line, smoke, something's burning, you can still leave the area. But now if we were to leave, the whole building would burn down.
Someone needs help.
And everybody inside would die. We are fighting all of these flaming fists, mainly for XP. But before we do any of that, we can just talk to the ones by the door, grabbing a tidbit more of XP. We're going to jump up, destroy the ladder so we don't give them access to us. I'm going to enhance sleep. The concentration of choice for this encounter. Probably want to swap over to this. And I don't care about haste helmet. The rings of choice are good enough as they are. Alright. Gonna get some expeditious retreat going. So we have a bonus action dash available if need be.
Friendly looking shadow.
I will also want Bow of Awareness to increase my initiative. And now we just kind of want to surprise these guys. However, instead of just these four, I want to make sure that I can hit at least one more archer with the stuff that they have. We don't have a source of action refresh, if I'm not mistaken. Man, I really should have picked up Sorrow before I went to do this. It would have made things a bit more easier for us. I don't have any way of grouping them up even further. No, so this is gonna have to do.
I don't need any attention right now.
So I'm just gonna wait for a bit better moment. Just so one of these guys is positioned close enough to the people by the door. I can catch one more of them with a bomb.
Better be cautious.
They're not cooperating, that's for sure. Maybe if I catch her while she's passing backwards, she's going to take the same route. Yeah, so if I toss a bomb over here now, I should be able to catch all of them. I have a speedy light feed, expeditious retreat is going. So all we want to make sure of now is that we get spotted straight away and do not succeed the stealth check.
Free for the taking. No talk.
There we go. We got second in initiative, which is quite okay. This archer is the only one that is going to be able to take a turn. So I'm going to use this opportunity to
Can't even catch my breath.
dash once, thus gaining lightning charges, and we're just going to
Have to keep going.
back away a little bit, make things a touch more inconvenient for him. We got the surprise round, which was the biggest thing, and he hasn't positioned himself any better. So, fourth bomb of the act, because we're in a high place and we have lightning charges, we can do some multi-bomb action. And for that, I believe we'll be fine if we just chuck one down somewhere over here. And boom. This is also a Dirge inspiration, because we killed 5 enemies with one action. This is the XP that we got, and there's only 2 more enemies left. With minor illusion, this could have been 1 turn only, but we gotta take what we're offered. Multi-bombing? Yeah. It's so nice. Alright, now the only guy that can actually still hurt me over here is this guy. And I'm just gonna keep on stacking lightning charges. Take the rest of them down. Now this is an annoying little spot. Are they close enough to one another? I can maybe acid splash both of them. Hello game. You good? Spazzing out a little bit.
Well, so much for peace.
Oh, there's something in between, apparently. Yeah, not going to work. So we're just gonna do this guy. Gives me one moment. And that him down. Oh, it's just her left. I got a message from work. So 1 sec. Some more lightning charges. Hey yo, thanks for the follow. My OBS is a bit slow, so I will see your name in a second. And this should be enough to end the business right here, right now. So Black is raiding. Hello, welcome in, raiders. My name is Nemeser. I do solo BG3 honor content. And right now we're just tackling the flaming fists next to the burning building. So Black, if you got a raid and run, I completely understand. Thank you for entrusting your community to me. But if not, do tag along for a little while. You're more than welcome to do so. Just a quick recap of what we're doing. We're playing Disciple of Nimbus, and the plan behind the build is that we're a Dirge Shadow Sorcerer with a dip of 2 levels into Star Druid and minimum of 3 into College of Law Bard, and while maintaining stealth from that Stalker's Mantle, we let Nimbus take all of the aggro in a fight, allowing us to take exclusively offensive gear when we get to that point in the game. And yeah, if you're interested more about the build, you can type down rules or ask some questions. You're more than welcome to. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're also only allowed to do direct damage to enemies using our cantrips. This is just another layer of challenge that I added on top of everything, because I think otherwise this challenge could become quite easy quite quickly. And I used the wrong dash. Hey also Black, how are you, man? How did the stream go? Is the brain dead already? Everything is a challenge? I mean, I still see a lot of people struggling to complete this game with a full party, so, you know. When you think about when you're trying to engulf a lot of different people at the same time, you can't exclusively look at the challenge running community. Now, of course, not all of the challenges are equal. Some are objectively harder than others. But what they do have in common is that they're all solo runs, so, you know, Hansel. It's not just Quag and a couple of other people that do this stuff. But yeah. Gotta make sure that we include people that are not as familiar with this game as some of you might be. Alright, killing all of these fists. You killed the brain, let's go. Killing these fists rewarded us with 350, 370 for token at the door, plus 40, and plus another 40. Altogether 400 and what, 50 XP? Very handy, a huge XP bump, especially for the early game. Nudging us ever more closer towards our level 6. And with this done, we only have one more bomb to use in this act. I've decided to reduce the amount of bombs I do per playthrough. And I wanna cut that number down to 5 per act maximum.
What's in here?
Alrighty. So after killing all of these guys, we are playing as a dirge, so we're gonna let the Burning Man remain trapped inside the room. We're just gonna grab the rewards from the room next door.
The heat coming off of that door. Opening.
I will want a couple of things. Put this door down so we don't get blown away by the explosion. Stand this to camp. You plan to keep the dog alive or just resummon him? The plan is to try and keep him alive after we weaker, when we're still kinda in Act 1 and 2, but once we get to Act 3 that is gonna become more and more harder. Now, I'm not allowed to use any level damaging spells on this run as well, so I'm focusing more on the CC side of things, and that should help out with trying to keep Nimbus alive. However, I'm definitely going to be buffing him with elixirs and additional AC and so on. Some haste can also go quite a long way. And also Nimbus can always still drink elixirs of universal resistance. Now that can get quite expensive, but when it comes to making more and more shadow puppies, it will definitely be quite nice. Like if we can give him Roland's mage armor, haste, elixir of universal resistance, elixir of viciousness, not viciousness, sorry, the other one, the alert elixir of vigilance, we can get him into quite a solid state at that point. And not to mention he is completely immune to necrotic damage, which is definitely going to help. Alright, so for our friend Councillor Floric, she's another target in Act 1 that I plan to knock out. So what I'm going to be doing for her is AC is not useful to me in any way. However, I do plan to make her wet and just go for one guaranteed crit with a shocking grasp. And with a little bit of luck, we can get some quite nice damage in. Without aid, it's gonna be hard. Not really. I mean, of course you can have upcast aid, but that would then require 3 levels of cleric investment, and as long as I believe Nimbus can still consume berries, suspicious meat and so on, so regaining HP on him while maintaining action economy shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world. And like, compared to just having upcast aid and giving him more HP, College of Law Bard can guarantee me Ominous Bite, so in case Nimbus, the worst case scenario happens, Nimbus dies, I can keep the sorcery point generation going with and just resummon him. It just doesn't have much HP. Yeah, we're gonna have to work around that, you know. Again, just getting the damage resistance on. Now, of course, he won't be able to tank Orin's legendary action. Of course, like, I'm not fooling myself on that one. But still, with some good resistance, he should be able to do most of the things. Alright, now we don't have a shovel for this.
And may I trust you'll see it through?
So
I fear that may have been the intention of...
I'll rescue him. And we're gonna take the spell sparkler.
Breathe quiet. Move with care.
We're going to crouch, we're going to dash.
Don't waste a step.
And just start going. Blade Ward will not help me out since she has Hypnotic Pattern and Magic Missile. She will only deal force damage over here. What I can do is try to blind her, thus making it so she has to make her way towards me. Probably wouldn't be the worst call. I think I'm just going to start with this. Guarantee my surprise round. No, thank you. Just gonna do a normal one for now. And also Roland's mage armor can be applied to Nimbus as well. So we can buff him with that, plus haste, plus we can try and get plus 2 AC from the Hack Survivor, so that is 18, 20, 22. With haste is 24 AC, you know, so it's not as bad as it is already. Alright, let's pop this, get the wet, and pass my turn for now. Dazzling Breath is just so good. Even with lower wisdom, still does half the damage on the save. Alright, now this is the time where we do Luck of the Far Realms. And now we kinda stop attacking her for a little bit. She can die right now if she moves and doesn't heal beforehand. This could go badly. Hopefully she has the common sense. No. But she did heal, so that's nice. Gonna take another D4 lightning. Putting her back at 7. I'm still hypnotized. Isn't that like a third turn already? Stop healing, lady. I'm gonna swap back to melee.
Another trick up my sleeve.
Hit my weapon.
Light on my feet.
Just start smacking the living hell out of her. Although I could still do this. Yes. I dare not do too much spell damage, lest we risk killing her accidentally. And this with an opportunity attack ought to be enough. This. I need to take off my Helldusk. She is burning. I even gotta heal her now. Jesus Christ. Okay, sure. Take this. Oh, Helldusk burning does not get removed by that. Okay. Didn't think this through. I can sustain myself with some health pots. In case she decides to hit me with her melee for some reason. She's burning for one more turn. This burning deals 1d4 fire, and she's out of her healing pots. I ought to be alright. Finally. There is a world where I rolled bad over here on the damage die. I'm gonna dip my weapon real quick. I'm gonna warding dog the doggo to make the best boy not die. I'm gonna use elixirs of universal resistance to avoid taking damage myself. Alright, and there's the knockout. Another 150 XP for it. And that's pretty much it for the people that we gotta knock out.
None is insured.
Time to rip the benefits.
Excellent armor. Strange place to find it.
The burning man is remaining burning. There's also the frightened ox in the back we gotta go check out. And also these charred corpses normally have a little bit of money on them. You do that, but you can call yourself a true disciple of Nimbus. You're not offering your own life to him. That is a fair point. However, I'm not used to my dog dead. My life has to continue in order for him to continue existing, so it's a double-edged sword. But we get warding bond in cleric at level 2. I don't know how many feats do I want to invest for this build, because if we got all of that going, then this build probably stops at 6 sorcerer, 3 cleric, 3 college of law, and we lose the star druid. And I mean, with college of law bard, we get a minus 1d6 to attack rolls against him, while the dog will have 24 AC. And 24 AC and a minus 1d6 to attack rolls with resistance, I think should be enough for the dog to survive. And he can always just spend his turn dashing, drinking a health pot, and then still biting someone else, given that we give him haste. I don't know. Warding Bond does not seem like a great answer to me. And also not to mention, if we take that half damage, you know, then we also gotta spend our action economy to heal ourselves as well as the dog. And then we're spending, well, smaller potions on healing each other, but both of our bonus actions are gone instead of just his and mine whenever I need to. Like, it's kind of inefficient action economy wise. Now, I'm gonna be real with you over here. I don't think Nimbus himself can tank through the whole game.
This hay hasn't gone up in flames yet.
Giving him extra AC and +1 to saving throws ain't nothing to scoff at. But yeah, I get your point. I mean, thing is, with College of Low Bard, right? And we can also make his attacks land more consistently, so it's like a double-sided support when it comes to that. Make sure you have speak with animals before approaching them over here. And don't be a drow.
Everywhere. Kill.
Beating this persuasion check is another 50 XP.
You speak. I was ready to run you through. They took this. I made him.
Alright. But yeah, like I was considering cleric when I first started to put this build together, but the more I looked at it, the less I was convinced. Nimbus can never have crit protection or damage reduction. Nimbus can drink potions, if I'm not mistaken, and elixirs. Elixir of physical resistance. Oh, sorry, universal resistance. Why wouldn't that work? Oh, damage reduction, sorry. My bad. Yeah, true. True. Definitely true.
Breathe deep and move.
But I mean, Warding Bond works the same as... somewhat the same as Elixir of Universal Resistance.
What was... Never mind.
So like, as long as we can have the damage, we can extend his HP. And making sure that he has good initiative going into combat will allow us to select the opportunity attacks that we take with Nimbus, thus multiplying him. And once we get more than one going, you know, we are already more than fine.
What no nature's broken bones are you doing here?
Warding Bond and aid. Yeah, but what do you do, Ansel, when Nimbus can't hit anything anymore? And you have to swap for each combat. Take a swap from Vigilance Elixir because Nimbus only got 2 initiative. And then have to go to a strength pot after that. You know? Because Nimbus only has... Nimbus has 18 strength. And as far as I'm aware, without setting up some sort of condition on an enemy before Nimbus attacks them, right? He will struggle to hit certain enemies in Act 3. Only way you'd be able to give him any DR would to go 6 Shadow Sorcerer and 6 Abjuration Wizard and project Ward. But way too much steps for a little payout. You know, Abjuration Wizard might not be as bad of a call as you said it is. but
hiding here?
It's also a bit of investment. But projecting world would then get us to probably use Jules' prerogative in Act 3. And we're Abjuration Wizards, so we kind of want to take damage ourselves. I don't know. I don't know what do we add on besides that. You know? Like, we could still kill people with and that's a lot of investments. What I really like about College of Law Bard is that we can also affect saving throws of enemies as well as Nimbus. Meaning his root, his ominous bite, him succeeding on saving throws, enemies succeeding on saving throws. Right? We get flexibility when it comes to all of that for the price of our reaction. I don't know, Ansel, I'm really not sold on the 4 cleric levels. Like, besides making Nimbus really tanky and not being able to be I'm sorry, making Nimbus have a large HP pool, right? What are you doing when trying to resolve his low spell save DC for the Shadow Vines and also his low attack chance, you know? Bard kind of takes care of that. Both of those things. And all we have to do is supplement like Cleric 8. I don't know, I'm still not sold on it. Not sure. Upcasted 8 to level 6 would be 40 more HP. Or I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass here. But it would almost double if I'm not mistaken. However, with College Bard, we can ensure that he succeeds on his Ominous Bite, either for action economy or on the Vines. So he sets up the targets for us to finish off with our cantrips. You know? And the 1d6 can also be, from College of Law Bard, can also be applied to his attack rolls. In case there's a target that's got high enough AC to be able to resist it quite a bit. The save on the Vine does not matter if you don't have a bunch of pups. There will be no valid targets for Vines. I mean, it's not like yeah, but so if I take Cleric, right, and he gets critted, he can almost have double HP, possibly surviving that, and then with the resistance as well, so we can get one dog to one Nimbus to really take care of all of that. I don't know, like, either way we buff that dog, he's still gonna have trouble hitting certain targets. And that is usually gonna be reserved for us. I think cutting words is worth it for one instance of Vines. Yeah, but it is worth it if for enemies to potentially miss Nimbus. So let's say the fight starts off in a very horrible way, and I want like Steel Watchers. I want Nimbus to take opportunity attacks from Flaming Fists, but not the Steel Watchers, right? In that case, I can kind of select or just play well and position Nimbus in the right spot.
That's far enough. What's your business down here? Answer honestly and maybe we'll kill you clean.
I don't know. Like the initial idea that I had for this build is self-sufficient sorcerer. We are avoiding using the infinite spell slot things, meanwhile replenishing all of our resources as we go, thus reducing the amount of times we have to long rest. And Nimbus's ominous bites seemed like a very cool idea.
That just tells me you've met my people. Not why you're here in there.
And like if we go cleric, then we're really putting a lot of effort into one Nimbus surviving. You know, that doesn't necessarily need to be the case. You know? Alright, because we got the password from speaking with Edward Rugen. This is checklist, 100 XP. So yeah, that way, especially in the earlier games when Ominous Bite is easiest to confirm, we can then just keep resummoning Nimbus, because that dog is on a bonus action.
Don't get comfortable.
And we probably want to rock Vigilance Elixir on the dog to start each fight.
To buy me. Tenfold.
I hope the fist tries to storm in. I want to see those traps in action.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, let's say, for example, we take those 4 levels of Cleric, right? And we have a Nimbus jacked up with a lot of additional HP. We also give him universal resistance. So then we just have a dog that is serving as an HP bag, running around, making little pups, rooting everybody in place. Or we have a chance to have a bit nerfed version of the dog, right? Making it easier to apply Ominous Bite on the enemies. But he can still then multiply, like, in case he does get crit, right? I don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference. Like, yeah, if he gets crit, he's dying on a Steel Watcher crit. Possibly in both scenarios. No, but much less in the Cleric one. But yeah, but either way, whenever a Cleric Nimbus dies during the fight, and if that happens, there's so much resource investment that has been put onto that. And if we were to create a new dog on our next turn, that would take 8 is an action, then Nimbus's bonus action to drink the elixir, with our bonus action to summon Nimbus as well. Like, there just goes a lot of setup into making another one in case he dies during the combat. And like the Ominous Bite thing, I think if you manage to proc it 3 times per turn should be enough to sustain that through. I don't know. I'll play around with it a bit more once we get to Act 3. See which one works better, but I'm divided. Anyways, let's go grab that. chest. Give it to Xeris. And then carry on.
There's no need for this. Free me now, and I'll see that my patron rewards you.
Or cutting words rerolls the attack to a crit, or it rerolls the attack from a crit. You know? Like rerolling attack to a crit is only really detrimental when you're like, it feels way worse when you yourself are wearing crit immunity and it happens to you. But for Nimbus that does not have crit immunity, you know, and let's say if we get really unlucky, I can get rid of one crit. That would be guaranteed otherwise.
You've already brought me bad news. Our trader can show you some of our more...
And I can do that 3 times.
Like any kind of birds, or...
The sorcery point sustain is minimal considering the pups can apply the omen. True.
Well, if you have the gold, my pet artist will make you a most heroical likeness.
Then you have to land your elemental attack. I'll always be doing that with advantage. I can get my spell, my arcane acuity stacked up, since I'll probably be invisible most of the time. And have all of the elements available? That's not too hard. I already got all of them covered except poison. The fire is not a ranged one, but it's in an AoE, so it's also something. Something we can work with. Like, the problem that I have with Cleric Dip is it does not completely prevent Nimbus from just dying on his first turn. And it feels really bad in case he dies. So meanwhile we can use our cutting words for different stuff. You know? For example, if I can't afford to stack Arcane Acuity, I'm not arguing for Cleric. Oh yeah, for sure. By the way, we're debating. I'm not arguing here. Like I like it actually when people oppose my ideas when it comes to making a build, you know, because there's always things. Nobody can consider everything, right? But yeah, I'm still more on the cutting words. Like, Nimbus is nice, but he's definitely going to fall off, even jacked up in Act 3 that he can get as Cleric. I don't think it will be enough to survive certain things. Or I see more than 2, like they say. Exactly, Mick. Alright, so we got the gloves from him. I'm not really interested in any other item. That in mind, some guidance, some shoving, and some blowing up the whole place. Can go quite a long way. Very nice. I don't worry about sustaining Nimbus. and use the fact that it's only 3 sorcery points to resummon. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a summon, there's no way of preventing the worst possible scenario. Did Ceres die, by the way? Is her corpse over here? Or did she just stand up and run away? Oh, she did die. Beautiful. Also, cutting words is fine. Sorry for spoiling the serious. Yeah, you're good, Anna. Like, we're all still learning about this game, you know? And it's like, the difference of opinion when it comes to discussing these classes is also important, super important whenever you're doing execution, right? And like, taking those 4 levels into Cleric, I'll be much more busy trying to keep Nimbus alive because he'd be more valuable, right? But with Cutting Words, he's a bit more dispensable as it is. I don't want to hit them with... Where's the other guy though? Ray of Frost. That will remove the burning condition. And I don't want that. Hey, something being a fun build is just as important though. See, like, the big... not problem really, but the challenge around this is... if we're trying to keep Nimbus alive, right, then we probably want to spend our actions doing that. And Nimbus will struggle landing hits on enemies in Act 3, any way you put it, right? Unless we hold monster or hold person the target, there's no guaranteed hits. And the average we're going to be dealing with is going to be 65% hit chance, you know? So getting aid and all of that for a summon that can maybe apply a condition on an enemy, that an enemy has to make a con saving throw, which enemies tend to have quite good good ones. For a maybe, then another maybe, seems like a bit too much of an investment. But it would be possible, like, it would be a way if I wouldn't allow myself to do damage, you know? However, I am, and I can do quite good cantrip damage for that. And also when it comes to resummoning and rebuffing up Nimbus, Cutting Words gives me a touch more freedom and better action economy. I think you want 5 Bard, otherwise you're off Cutting Words in 1 combat. That's true. I was considering it, and this build that I have is still not finalized. But I'm thinking that once we get to Act 3, we have like, we'll have a shit ton of guaranteed damage, especially if we fully commit to cantrip damage, and maybe like Hat of the Sharpcaster, Spellmark Gloves, both Necklace of Elemental Augmentation, Potent Robe. All of those things can output me some very consistent damage. So at that point, Star Druid level will probably not be relevant anymore. However, what I do probably want out of a Star Reformed Druid, at least for the start of Act 2, is I want to cast Haste. I want to twin that and not suffer a downside until those 10 turns are up. So that was actually the thought that started this this whole build. But yeah, getting the refresh on those cutting words and making them better once we have access to 5 levels. And also if we take them to 6/6, we can make those into a 1d8. Not much difference, but if we high roll on that, I know, right? What a point to discuss. But it can maybe situationally help out. But I would probably want confused at that point. And we get magical secrets, that's true. I completely forgot about that shit. I have it in my mind that that comes at a later levels, because I don't play college bard so often, and we could take hacks for that even. Okay, F5. Oh no. The stream is not lagging, but I think the game just hung itself. I can still move the camera. I'm trying, I'm spamming F5. And with that we could also get hacks for those less demanding fights. Oh god, no, I wasn't expecting this to happen so early. We're barely in Act 1. Yeah, it's fully crashed. And why are we back here? I got the close program prompt. You know, normally on my playthroughs I am quite lucky with my dice. So I was thinking maybe that luck would extend over to not my save files being corrupted on Stars Druid. A lot of people have been experiencing having their save files corrupted whenever they were playing that subclass. And I guess we're about to find out. Please don't. So they made a slight reference to one of the recent hotfixes. They addressed this issue, that they might have done something on it, if I'm not mistaken. I hope this is it. But we will know if this loading gets stuck. Oh, we're at 100. So the save file is not dead yet. That's good. But we're back at the beginning of the Zen hideout. Okay. Works well enough for me. Just need to set my phone. So yeah, as if gambling on dice rolls is not enough,
Walking death.
we're also playing Stars Druid, so at any point in the game, our save file could get bricked. So yeah. Yeah, this is Lola. She is very hot and starting to get annoyed at me because she's hungry.
That just tells me you've we've.
Alright, let's go and redo this real quick.
Cursed to put my hands on everything.
What's that smell?
I also want to take off the mantle for this encounter.
I need only tell her it's a
I want to
Alright.
have a word.
Talk to the artist.
You need... And
20. Give Ceres the chest. Buy the gloves for advantage on dexterity checks. And then it's blow up time.
You've already brought me bad news. Our trader can show you some of our...
Playing Star Druids makes your game keep rolling con saving throws, just not to get bricked.
Free me now, and I'll see.
Now that's some gambler roleplay for you right there.
You'd only tell her it's a gambling test.
Well, if you have
But no, it's not fun.
my
Like,
pet artist will make you a most
they need to fix that shit as soon as possible because it's just bad. Like, it's a feel bad moment. Because you're playing with the new shiny toy that you just got. And then imagine you get to Act 3 to this, possibly defeat one of the big bosses, and then it just breaks out as soon as you were about to get that final item for the build. Like, I'd lose my shit. I believe Sobek has that happen to him. And he wasn't even playing Star Druid, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this is just one of the reasons why we're playing on custom honor mode in patch 8 and no longer doing honor mode.
If everyone else minds their business, I'll be fine. What do we have here?
Just don't want to risk it anymore.
Wait! They've got oil everywhere and bloody torches!
You were saying, Oscar? Pretty sure he meant to say something. Fortunately didn't catch that.
On my way.
Honestly, I don't care if they hit me or not. Got crit immunity. I don't respect these guys enough. And just keep bumping them down. Grias is also still burning. Okay, maybe I should respect them a bit more. He, on the other hand, still has some running to do. Can I knock you down further, though? Does not look like it. But it's some nice, good guaranteed 3 damage. Seriously? You found that angle? Sure, champ. Could have done it the other way around for +1d4 to my hit chance. Now that we have crit immunity, we're way less worried about getting hit by the enemy. Just gonna use more of these because I can, and otherwise they're gonna start weighing down my inventory way too much. Oscar actually survived in this attempt. Alright, gonna do quick F5. I probably need to set myself a timed alert, like every 20 minutes or so, to start saving this game more often.
Something good here.
Because we're playing with fire. Upcasting blindness allows me to target 2 people. Unfortunately, both of those archers do not start together enough to where I could grab them with a offhand shot onto the spike bolt to get that disadvantage.
I'll take that.
Grab the key. We did buy the gloves, right? Oh, thank God.
Couple turns should do it.
And Oscar on his way.
I need a quick word.
A couple of more things to pick up over here.
You recall a recent...
Right.
Truly horrifying dilemma. I'm not giving you any money. You freeloader. Freebooter. I don't know what's the expression. All the guys across. I could go with movement speed and just cut them about the place. Only one of them has ensnaring strike. And there's a lot of dogs that can do even more damage. I think I'm happy with what I got. Alright. F5 right now. You gonna crash again? It seems that crash was random. I was hoping we could pinpoint down the causes of the crash, but not today. So for this, I probably want to start off with Enhanced Leap. And just to check, this thing is already quite phenomenal. Wait a second. We're gonna do something else.
Let's have a look.
I also forgot to pick up a couple of more things over here. Mainly just camp supplies though. I won't be long resting as much on this playthrough as I did in the previous one. F5. F5.
Breathe quiet. Move with care.
Now, question of the day. How far is this blindness? He's still inside. 75. Must target too far, okay. Why do you have... Screw this. I have a couple of ways of starting this. The safest bet would, but without a surprise round, would involve Blade Ward. But I'd like to get my surprise round in. I could still blind just these two guys. Now, giving them advantage to the thing itself would also work very nicely. And I don't think I can get a surprise round by shooting an object. It has to be an enemy that we target. So, we're going to do this. And call it a day.
You've messed up. At least you won't live to regret it.
Tougher than you. Come on.
Most of these, or almost all of the damage over here is physical, so extended blade ward. Can go the extra step. This is just camp supplies. Now, fun little thing, our dazzling breath can actually activate, can target items rather. And that can be used to...
Coming for you!
To get people wet while also applying things wet, while also applying some radiant damage. Or getting them con disadvantage. Wow, nice jump. So I've limited myself to one item interaction per this game, per turn. Now what that means, for any of you that might be confused by that rule, is if you place something on the ground and then you break it somehow. Imagine if you have a fire surface over here and I just keep dropping bombs and placing them into the fire. Technically that way you could get infinite damage. I went a touch too far for this. So yeah, I'm limiting to only, like, in my case, dropping one item on the ground per turn. Or rather interacting with it for it to do something and apply a certain type of condition. So, need to get a water bottle down on the two of you. We get them wet. I miss, but that's quite okay. He's still blinded, so he can't do stuff. It'd be really fine if I could do both archers at the same time, but I'm not willing to invest any more spell slots into this fight. Oh, she's aspect of the wolf? I did not know that. There's just some easy AoE that we have on demand. Nice electrocution damage. She should still be wet, so getting a free bleed on her gives me advantage from my Wall's benediction, and I can give her a good smacking. My blade ward I'll need to extend on my next turn, but most of the enemies are dead already, so I don't think I'll be extending it.
What's that?
Alright, and I want to keep two of you where you are for now. Oh, I'm not wearing my reverb boots. Otherwise this would also apply reverberation, reducing their saving throws against their dex saving throws, so I could AoE acid splash them. But at least we got the advantage. Not that it is worth much though. Okay, you hurt. Stop that. Nice crit. The bastard shot an alchemist fire. Look at him go. I'm gonna move back just in case he decides to explode the barrel that is underneath this wooden platform. Those do not travel vertically. No, not quite yet. Where was my Call the Weak? So Dazzling Brand does not trigger that? Or does my Call the Weak just not on? Probably it's just not turned on. Alright, so that was the burning house and the Zentrum hideout.
Bet that will fit in my pack.
All pretty much done, placing us at 1000 XP off of level 6. I'd like to be 6 before I start the Grove raid. Mostly because that will give me access to Sorcerer level 4 and allow me to get a feat in finally. And for that feat, I'm probably picking up Spell Sniper. -1 to crit. We also get to choose another cantrip to cast with our charisma, and that lovely cantrip is going to be Thorn Whip. I think it's super nice for repositioning people, and more important than that,
no traps,
it is an action refresh. So we can twin cast that at the beginning of the fight, pile everybody up together. If I have reverb boots, I'm gonna also give them 2 reverb stacks, -2 to their dex saving throws.
That's curious.
Making my acid splash more likely to land. No, there's nothing in these other boxes. And also another item that I'm going to be using once I get access to Nimbus will be Abyss Beckoners. Now this is a situational one because Nimbus is not immune to the madness effect. However, I can still heal Nimbus with a potion on the ground and give him another 1d4 on that saving throw. I can use my item interaction on that part if I don't want to apply any conditions to enemies. And it's just a very cheap method of making them resistant to everything but psychic damage. I don't know what's the saving throw on this one. Abyss Beckoners. Demon Spirit Aura. Yes. Must succeed a wisdom. So what's the duration? Yeah, what is the saving throw though? What's the DC? However, later once we get our 3rd level of Bard, we're also gonna be picking up a particular spell called Calm Emotions, and it is a concentration spell, which also prevents creatures from going mad under the effect of Abyss Beckoners. So at a cost of our concentration slot, we can get literally no downside to using these gloves. Except, I guess, not using other gloves. Which, by the time we're in Act 2, one of the better options that we'll have will probably be the gloves that can make my cantrips close range. That can help while I'm threatened. I don't know, I haven't exactly decided quite yet. Probably will mix and switch between those two. Because whenever there is a fear condition involved and we have common motions, right? Or frightened, that thing can also guarantee immunity to both of those effects, so no peg scrolls needed for me. and neither for my dog. And just giving the dog resistance to everything but psychic at that point can be quite handy. I'm just sour that we cannot twin the blade ward. Or can we? Go back to sorcerer. I don't know why I threw these two away. Gonna make one more sorcery point real quick. Twin cast? Yeah, if you could twin cast Blade Ward on yourself and someone else, that would be the juice. But we have our workarounds. Alright, back to Waukeen's Rest. Gonna save my game. And I have probably another solid half an hour in me before I have to go and start getting ready for work. And since I don't have, or rather I'm not going to have, greatsword proficiency, I don't think I want to be using Silver Sword of Astral Planes. So I can effectively just talk down Voss and grab the XP from it right now. And I believe that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So let's get our boon on. We have it already. Like me. That. Some guidance. Oh, we do want to make sure that we are a Githyanki though, since that will remove one of the checks when trying to talk to Voss. Now this is slightly XP negative because we are not we're not killing Voss and Kudanos over here. However, it's not that big of a downside, and we get to kill Voss at one more opportunity before Act 3, so could always do it then. Otherwise, talking or fighting to these guys, it's the same XP wise.
You are unknown to me, kin. Explain yourself, Vinisk.
So I'm gonna go with Deception because I have more added bonuses to this. Favorable beginnings and being level 5 is really doing a lot here. Hey, Mad Mac, how you doing? We are playing a Shadow Sorcerer that is a Dirge, using Deathstalker's Mantle, not to cancel combat, but to let Nimbus take the aggro away from us. We're only allowed to do damage, direct damage to enemies through our cantrips or class actions, so no weapon attacks and so on, and racial abilities. And yeah, it's pretty much a sorcerer build that uses cantrips for damage, a bit abusing Invis, but not too hardly.
Most coming from
and
come across this
hopefully trying to play in a way where we don't have to long rest a lot,
but I suppose you are young,
but we still maintain most of the resources. But that only comes into play after we get Nimbus into the equation.
But first, a question.
You attune your mind to it. The artifact does not.
I don't know such weapon.
Oretha, keep hunting.
And that's it. I'm sorry, what the fuck? Okay, Jesus Christ. I did pure Swashbuckler, it's really a strong class. On solo, yeah, Swashbuckler is really nice to play. Especially with the action refresh, not action refresh, but refresh on your sneak attack that you can do by beginning outside of combat. That's a swashbuckler unique thing, by the way. You can get some stupid damage going really early on. Alright, so that's the gift done. Another 470 XP for us. We also get to loot the rest of this place. One turn the brain. As expected. But I mean, don't forget though, rogue is bad. It doesn't have extra attack, right? Alright, I must send this to camp. Yeah, but it's resonance stone abuse. Yeah, I've started to try and stay away from that because it's the same thing as with ballast armor and Titan string bow. Like, you can use it. It's definitely a very good option, but if that's the only thing you do, you know, is it even fun anymore? For me, it's about exploring and pushing this game to its boundaries, see what other combos I can make work, and setting that category on a solo honor run is enough of a threshold for me to say, hey, this can definitely work out, without having unlimited game knowledge, by the way. But yeah, hey, this can definitely work out, and it was decent enough build to win the game with. Rogues are a nuke? Yeah, for sure. What I really like to do, and because I have a slight aversion towards bows in this game, is I like to play my rogues melee, and taking Savage Attacker on a melee sneak attacks allows you to reroll every die of the sneak attack, making the average output of damage that you have that much more higher. Now, I did that on a run while streaming live on an assassin that was before patch 8, and we were one-shotting a lot of things. Also, I didn't have as many game knowledge back then as I do now. I'm doing pure Hexblade with Savage Attacker as well. Nice idea. But I have to get your attention towards his use coatings on Hexblade. Like, you'll love it. Poisons in particular. Like Purple Worm and such. It can be very satisfying because they will deal additional. The poisons will take for additional Hexblade Curse proficiency modifier if you apply Hexblade Curse to them. I just did that run and it was so nice. Always forget, they sure as hell are underestimated. Alright, for this fight I'm swapping to this and I'm grabbing that. Also getting Crusher's Ring and this lovely circlet.
Can't risk being in open view.
I'm gonna start with that. Get a surprise round. You did Merkel with it? Okay, poison in Act 3? Yeah, I didn't do poisons for Merkel just because he resists them. Now with Venomous, with the ring I could probably set that status to neutral, which would still be okay damage. And now I'm starting to feel sorry that I did not do that. Oh well. But yeah, Merkel is only resistant to poison damage, not immune to it. No, I don't want to do Blade Ward for these few goblins. They still all have Fury of the Small. And there's no way... Or, hold on. Might be a way to reach them all with a single cone? There is. Let's go. She still has Cold of the Weak though. I mean Fury of the Small. So if I didn't hit that, I could have possibly died. But it's okay. Nothing like a little bravery. And I can also kill both of these guys. And I'm going to begin with an item interaction. Just because I can.
Footwork.
Don't want to bleed myself now. Maybe a touch further. In a way where I can still hit both of them, yet avoid getting hit by the spike bolt myself. And this is the best that we can do. So, I'm going to start with this. We're going to crouch.
Time to skulk about.
And do that. Savage Attacker has been crazy since Booming Blade as well. Try adding Gloves of Spell Might on top of that. You might find out something nice. But that was really satisfying. Call the week. Especially in the early game. With some additional tadpoles. Don't want to break the game? I mean, ever since the addition of Booming Blade, you don't really have to try too hard. Because that thing can pretty much solo the whole game. Although you lose the Ring of Arcane Acuity. Yeah, that thing, then some elemental augmentation. On top of that, Drake Throw Glaive enchant the thing. Get some nice things going that way. Alright, what else do we have to squeeze 500 XP out of? There's still 3 more goblins inside of Goblin Camp. And plus the 3 archers I deal with within the prison to kill to get more XP. Those guys are gonna leave with Minty for the Grove raid. Yes, Ring of Arcane Synergy. I know what you had in mind. There is no Ring of Arcane Acuity. So I know which one you meant. Alright, gonna go check the vendors one more time. I don't think I have spoke to Bro Moonglove.
Oh, come on now.
The spiders and everything regarding down there is still alive. I could go grab that XP as well. I probably want an elixir of poison resistance for that. I believe we have one already.
Need something?
And I'm doing all of that damage without even having Bloodlust. So when it comes to power level, Star Druids, or rather Starform Dragon Druid, Breath Attack being on bonus action is so good. And target still taking half of the damage on a successful throw, on a successful save. It's super nice for action economy. Definitely carrying the game right now. Also, most fun part about rogues is that I can throw a bomb on myself and kill everyone around me without getting no damage. Oh yeah, evasion. Invasion plus uncanny dodge. Now if you're feeling super frisky, you can also add some a duelist prerogative for extra reaction on top of that. Can also help out with the combo a little bit. For all of you that don't understand what we're talking about, evasion is a monk and rogue level 7 feature that they get, which whenever they succeed on a saving throw against an AoE spell, or an AoE dex save, rather, they take 0 damage. However, if they fail, they only take half. Compared to normally, if you fail, take full damage. If you succeed, it's only half. Shield Mastery works the same, yep. And together with Uncanny Dodge, which also can half the damage on a for the cost of the reaction, they can just half the damage. I don't think if Uncanny Dodge takes the reaction away or not. However, that can then further nullify the damage. So like if you're splitting the damage on an AoE in half 2 times, or split in half once, apply resistances, apply damage reduction, right? So possibly even 3 times, and then half it again at the end of it with the Uncanny Dodge. Basically nothing can touch you. Or like, it can touch you, they just can't deal damage. That's why Rogue, in my opinion, is probably the most tankiest class in the game you can have. Potentially behind Abjuration Wizard. I guess it depends on what type of damage you're taking in that context though. You can also add Extended Blade Ward, Force Conduit, Abjuration Ward. It can get wild, yeah. And also, speaking all of that, then you can also add retaliation damage on top of that. You know? As Mad Max said. And monks get it as well, yeah, but monks don't get Uncanny Dodge. And to be honest, I've never actually done a monk run yet, so that is still something I have to partake in this game. Scroll of Confusion, very nice to have this available for purchase if need be. What I will buy though is some Sleet Storm, and this thing is going to be used in Grove Defense. Also would like Remove Curse Scroll, can never have too many of those. And I'm happy with what we got. Does it get better if you have armor proficiency and heavy armor master for rogue? Yes, it does. But it also depends on your choice of armor. So like heavy armor master, the highest damage reduction you can have, given that you have a separate access to Blade Ward, is with Helda's Karma, bringing your damage reduction up to 3. Right? And then Blade Ward for physical or just universal resistance. Make things simple. You can, so you're first going to half the damage from resistance, then the DR will apply. So that is -6. So divided by 2, then -6. And then if you're rogue and have evasion as well, and you succeed, and you fail the saving throw, you divide it by 2 again. And then you can also add Uncanny Dodge on top of that, and you divide it by half again. Which is quite a bit. I'm not certain about the order of first 3. But yeah, still though. So save with such feats as Savage Attacker, Mobile and Sharpshooter. If you go medium armor route, and both melee and I'm missing out on something. Prefer medium armor on tanky rogue? To be honest, for me, I just go Helldusk and Ham and go to town. It's 10 out of 10 satisfaction.
Pleasure.
And also, Helldusk exists. So as long as you have proficiency in heavy armor, because you need that to get heavy armor master. Maybe then multi-classing into just one level into some different class is not too bad. Preferably one that has heavy armor proficiency, other gear proficiencies, and access to booming blade as well. You know, if you want to do the most basic and reliable strat, it is definitely a very good option. Alright, so which class? You have several options, Anna. You can either go with Cleric, can give you guidance, resistance, useful cantrips. All in all, you also get some very nice spells like Sanctuary, Bless, Create Water. If you go the fighter route, you can later on always add another fighter level for Action Surge. But with fighter you get heavy armor, and you also get a fighting style. So if you're doing only one weapon and one attack, right? For melee, if you're doing sword and board or two-handed, but I guess you're doing rogue, so you're one-handing because you want a finesse weapon. So you're doing sword and board, Farah Louvre. You can also get dueling fighting style, adding another flat 2 damage on top of that, or you decide to go archery for more accuracy. It's your choice, really. Because neither cleric... Does cleric get booming blade? I'm not sure. Or defense, yeah, as Mad Max said. I mean, it depends on the rule set, but like cleric overall more versatile because you get guidance, so you never have to equip the amulet. You also get resistance if you're gonna be running across some ice, right? So yeah, out of the two, for me, cleric is probably my more favored option. But that is just a matter of taste. Because let's say you don't intend to cast many spells, right? Or at least the ones that require a spell save DC or spell save DC or spell attack rolls. You know, then fighter might be a better option. Because both fighter and rogue share the int spellcasting ability. So it doesn't matter in which order you take those. You can always respec though. Great weapon fighting style with two-handed Farah Aloof for slightly better damage on your sneak attacks. That's also true. And it's not even a troll strategy, by the way. Now you probably want to use different weapons, you know, throughout the game, but it's a thing you can do. Alright, so unfortunately everyone, I have work in the afternoon, so I'm going to have to say goodbye to you all. I really enjoyed that the chat is super alive today, way more than usual. So Black, again, thank you for the raid. Thank you for everybody that followed me. And yeah, I will see you all next time, but let's first find someone to send you off to. Ginger Bananas is doing a lonely no looting Eldritch Knight playthrough. A super difficult one because the resource management when you can't pick shit up can get pretty wild. So yeah, I'm gonna send you all off over there. You all have a good one. Have a wonderful day, evening, sleep, whatever. And I'll most likely see you all tomorrow when we're gonna do a bit longer stream than today. But yeah, thanks for watching and bye bye.